Hello and welcome again to the Writer Review. This is Eric Carrot Writer, and this week we're going to be taking a look back at the 1991 movie titled Once Around. Now, Once Around is a romantic comedy that runs for an hour and 55 minutes long, and it is directed by Lasse Halstrom, who also went on to direct such classic movies as My Life as a Dog, Chocolat, The Cider House Rules, What's Eating Gilbert Grape, amongst many others. It is produced by Amy Robinson and Griffin Dunne. The score was done by James Horner. The cinematography was done by Theo Van de Sande, and it was edited by Andrew Monshine, and it was directed by Malia Marmo, who also went on to write the script for Steven Spielberg's 1991 classic Hook. Now, Lasse Hallstrom's Once Around tells the tale about the Bella family, who are a tight-knit Italian-American family who reside in Boston, Massachusetts. Joe Bella, played by Danny Aiello, is the king of his domain, who's been married for almost 35 years to his classy wife Marilyn, played by Gena Rowlands. And they have 3 adult children. They have their only son, Tony, played by Danton Stone, Jan, played by Laura San Giacomo, and Renata, played by Academy Award-winning actress Holly Hunter. Tony is already married. Jan is about to tie the knot, which leaves Renata anxious as to when her boyfriend of many years, Rob, played by Griffin Dunne, is going to propose. In a heartbreaking act, Rob confesses that he has no intentions of ever marrying Renata, so eventually she moves back with her parents. Renata eventually quits her job as a waitress and travels to the Caribbean, where she takes an interest in the business of selling real estate, specializing in condominiums. There she meets a hotshot real estate agent named Sam Sharp, played by Richard Dreyfuss, and is immediately attracted to his high-spirited, confident, and spontaneous appearance, even though his delivery can come across as being brash, arrogant, and obnoxious. He gladly takes her back home to Boston, where he is introduced to the Bella family. The Bellas take a while to warm up to this chain-smoking, philandering, rather radiant behaving Sam, but after a while they progressively get adjusted to his rather unorthodox charisma, which is much to the chagrin to most of the family members, but since he manages to find happiness towards Renata, I guess in the end it doesn't really matter to them. As long as she's happy and as long as he makes her happy, I guess that's kind of all that matters. However, her sister Jan does not really like him, which causes a bit of friction between both sisters, but after a while Jan soon accepts him and eventually gives Renata her blessing. Sam eventually marries Renata and relocates his business from New York to Boston to spend more quality time with Renata and the rest of the Bella clan. At Joe's mother's funeral, Sam sings a tribute song to her, which Marilyn gets put off by it, claiming that it's kind of disrespectful and tasteless, and eventually this leads to the family thinking Sam is a wedge that's progressively tearing them apart. but they eventually make up afterwards, and Renata eventually gives birth to a baby girl. While at the christening, Sam suffers a severe heart attack and is rushed to the hospital, where he spends practically the rest of the movie on a wheelchair. He returns home and eventually celebrates Christmas with the Bella clan. Renata goes skating by a frozen lake, and Sam and the baby look on. While she is skating, Sam dies peacefully in his sleep with his daughter by his side. At his funeral, Renata gives a eulogy thanking Sam for changing her life for the better, and in his honor, Joe leads the procession on a traffic roundabout. Now, what do you think people would react to this kind of movie? Well, most people under the middle-age demographics might find this story to be uncool and just another cliched, formulaic romantic comedy. Now, if you're in the over 30 club like me, you probably might have some tolerance to it, but might refrain from using outstanding applauses, which actually makes this movie, in the long run, at times a bit forgettable. I mean, when you look at big-name stars like Richard Dreyfuss and Holly Hunter, who went on to win Academy Awards, or at least got nominated for them, they probably would not put this movie to their resumes. And even though this was directed by Lasse Halstrom, I mean, he went on to direct better movies after this. I mean, like I said, the list goes on. What's Eating Gilbert Grape, to Chocolat, to The Cider House Rules, to My Life as a Dog. So this is an Oscar-nominated director. This is not just some run-of-the-mill, no-name director here. And, you know, most of the performers in this movie are high prolific. Not just Richard Dreyfuss and Holly Hunter. I mean, Danny Aiello, he's been in quite a lot of movies over the years. Laura San Giacomo, she's a Golden Globe nominated actress. If you've ever seen the movie Sex, Lies and Videotapes. She also was on the TV sitcom Just Shoot Me. So, you know, these people are not, you know, a bunch of nobodies. But I just don't think they would actually put this kind of movie to their resume. And may have probably even forgot that they even starred in it. The film was actually dismissed of any awards, and the box office ticket sales was quite low. In general, this romantic comedy, put in better terms, is definitely lost in the shuffle and will never be memorable. Although the story is quite simplistic, it's not very enjoyable, and the sad ending would surely turn people off. But that's what maybe the general audience might think. But what did I think of this movie? How I felt about Once Around is that, you know, it is a character-driven film, and that the interactions and the responses towards each other is actually quite riveting. Sam and Renata truly deserve each other, and their reasons to fall for each other is what drives people to actually see the movie. Renata definitely loves Sam because he's fun, caring, and uplifting in charm. Plus, he's wealthy. Sam loves Renata because she's intelligent, she's easygoing, and she's carefree. But it takes a while for the other Bellas to get used to him because his charm can cross the line to the point of obnoxiousness and refuses to accept when enough is enough. This movie is definitely about, you know, acceptance. And it's a coming-of-age story because Renata Bella who was at one time very dependent on her family. Once she meets Sam Sharp, she starts to progressively take a turn to become an independent woman. I guess after Sam's death, I don't know whether she went on to remarry or if she decided to just stay single and to look after her daughter on her own. So, let's see. Over the years, a myriad of romantic comedies offer men and women who fall in love, avoiding romantic interludes, and just randomly fall in love. Once Around is a lot different, being that this couple has a legit purpose as to why Sam and Renata should belong together. It's not just two people, just randomly mesh. There's no love at first sight type of cliche here. There is an impression, but they actually have a motive as to why these two should be together. It's not just a random pick and choose. These guys, obviously Renata has had her heart broken because the person who she thought that she was going to marry refuses to marry her. So now she has to look elsewhere to find true love. And even though it has not been 100% confirmed, the reason why Sam decides to fall in love with the much younger Renata was because, from what my knowledge is, he had a divorce from his previous wife, practically, I guess, because he drove her crazy because of his somewhat childish, you only live once obnoxious behavior, and I guess that kind of turned her off. The two definitely come from different worlds, and it's not just because of culture and heritage class, being that Renata Bella comes from a close-knit Italian-American family, and Sam Sharp comes from a rather far-apart Lithuanian-American family. Renata definitely has no savings or really any career ambitions before she met Sam, except, just to get by in life, and her family is her real only social existence, and outsiders are definitely not welcome into the family unless they're willing to commit in marriage. There is definitely no doubt that Once Around has good qualities, and it definitely outweighs the bad ones. And the flaws definitely don't keep this film entirely from being bad. Some of the flaws that I found a little disturbing, but like I said, it doesn't hinder this movie at all, and you shouldn't be really turned off about these small flaws, but here are just some of them. First of all, it takes a while for Joe and Marilyn to feel comfortable with Sam's outspoken behavior, and I don't see the reason why they would have took a hating towards him, except for he's new to the family, and I think it just needs to progressively, let him give the chance to rub on before you can just start to cast the first stone. The situation involving Jan's subtle affair with a family friend named Jim, played by Greg German, was handled oddly. And it also was very poorly structured. Sam's over-the-top toast at Jim's wedding reception also garnered no responses. This guy is like acting like a buffoon and nobody seems to care. What gives? I know he's a bit uncouth, but somebody needs to tell him off. At times it felt like Sam's outrageous personality was too manipulative for Renata, who just seems too easily charmed by him. While a lot of girls would probably be turned off by his obnoxious behavior, she just seems to make his odd behavior more inviting, which I find strange. But these flaws shouldn't really hinder your spirits. If you like a low-key romantic comedy, you have to check this one out. If I was to give it a scale out of 10, I would probably give this a 7. I guess that's all the time I have for the writer review. Thank you all for listening in. If you would like to subscribe to me, please feel free to do so. And remember, be kind, be courteous, and I will be back again with another movie review. So until next time, this is Eric Corrupt Writer saying, keep watching those movies, and I'll see you around. Goodbye.